flashback. This song came out about 1964, I guess, 65. Started like this. I was born in a city they called the Windy City. And they called it the Windy City because of the hawk, the almighty hawk. That's the wind and ice and snow in the wintertime, you know? I used to live on this street that was a dead-end street. And I lived right at the end of the block where there was nothing to stop the wind and the elements to keep them from blowing right into my house. I mean, really socking it to us in the wintertime. You see, in Chicago in the winter, when the boilers burst and the heat's all gone, if you lived in certain parts of the city as I did near the lakefront, you had to get fully dressed before going to bed if you didn't want to freeze in your sleep, you know? I used to put on everything but my goulashes because they had buckles on them, and my grandmother didn't play that. My grandmother would say, boy, if you get into bed with them goulashes on, I'll try my best to kill you, fool. Are you crazy? But I was fortunate, because as soon as I was big enough to get a job, saved me enough money to get a ticket to catch anything, I caught the first thing smoking and went west where I thought it was best. I really felt that way sincerely too, folks. That was until about 9 years ago. I woke up in Los Angeles one morning about 6 o'clock in the morning, and my bed was doing the boogaloo. I mean, it was getting down, baby. Hey. But there was no music playing in the room at all, y'all. It was an earthquake, and it was far out, believe me. But afterwards, I still tried to get some of my relatives and friends that I left in Chicago to come out west. You know what they told me? They said, no thank you, baby. You've got California to yourself, honey. You can go back to them earthquakes by yourself. So I told them that was all right, but I told them this too. I said, listen, if the good Lord above will keep the thought of Chicago out of my mind, I don't even want to change planes in the city certain months of the year. For fear of being snowbound, that's a cold city, folks. Well, hey, they say this is a big rich town. I lived in the poorest part. Well, I was raised on a dead-end street in a city without a heart. You know, I learned to fight before I was 6. It was the only way I could get along. When you were raised on a dead-end street, you got to be tough and strong. Hey, all the guys I know are getting in trouble. That's how it's always been. When the odds are all against you, how can you win? Yeah, how can you win? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, well. Now, this next song came along in the 60s when we were having a problem in the country about the area that this song was composed about. Now, this area is found in all of our major cities and most of our small towns. The only difference that you'll find is that in each and every city, they have their own special name for the area. Now, you take New York City, for instance. There, they call the areas Harlem, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and a few other choice names that we can't say on stage, you know. In Los Angeles, they call the area Watts. In Chicago, they call the area Chicago. I can talk about that one. 'Cause I was born in a dump. My mama died and my daddy got drunk. He left me here to die or grow in the middle of Tobacco Road. Yeah, yeah. I grew up in a rusty shack. Everything I owned was hanging on my back. The Lord knows country, but I love you because you are my home. Yes, I do, yeah. Yeah. Well, well. About 1967, this song came along. For me, it was right on time because it happened at a time in my life that I was experiencing the pits of romantic involvement. You might say I was scraping the bottom of the barrel of love. It was rough. But the song put it all together for me. The words made it very plain and very clear. It said, for every little kiss, there's a little teardrop. For every single thrill, there is another heartache. And the road is rough, the going gets tough. Love is a hurting thing. Love is a hurting thing. When you're in my arms, I'm a king on the throne. But when we're apart, I walk the streets alone. One day happiness, the next day loneliness. Love, it is a hurting thing. Love is a hurting thing. When love brings so much joy, why must it bring such pain? I guess it's a mystery no one can explain. You know, there was a time if somebody told you to do something, you did it. Bam! Right on. And there were no questions asked either. It was yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, or you never said no. But things are changing, folks. It's a new day. And folks now want to take their lives into their own hands and make their own choices. No longer do they want to go along with the program because everybody else says right. You know what I mean? You know, it's like different stroke for different folks, right? Or you do your thing and I'll do mine. I won't get in your way and you better not get in mine. You dig it? It was the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s. This was the song. Here you go. I don't want no gold watch for working 50 years from 9 to 5. While my boss is guzzling champagne and I'm belting beer and some dive. Living and loving for me. I want to be happy and free. Living